We are part of an entourage that's sponsored by Operation Iraqi Children. It's an organization that Gary Sinise started, and we'll be taking hospital supplies and school supplies to different cities and towns in Iraq for civilian use, but we're also taking some things over for our servicemen and women. We honor our veterans every single show that we do every day here in Branson, and we just are jumping at the chance to take the show to them where they're working and show them how much we appreciate it. Look them in the eye, shake their hand, and say thank you.
I'll be with you. Have a safe trip, and I hope to see you back safely.
Thank you. Thank you.
When we left the theater, I think all of us were a little bit surprised at the number of people that showed up, and especially the soldiers, the media. Then we made our 3.5-hour trip to the Hilton up by the airport in Kansas City, where we got into our rooms, and then that night we had some informational meetings. The next morning, we head out to the lobby. Everybody packs up the one bag that they get to carry. We're met in the lobby by some combat veterans that gave us a motorcycle escort over to the American Airlines hangar where the jet was.
We are in the hangar in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Airport.
We're getting ready to do the big ceremony before we leave for New York to pick up the rest of the people going on Operation Iraqi Children. Underneath an airplane right now. Check it out. It's the coolest thing ever. I'm going to shut up now.
No, keep talking.
Jason, what are you most nervous about this ceremony?
Getting my words correct. I don't know.
What
Bad question, man.
are you most nervous about?
Just nervous about not doing the best job we can do.
That's what I would have said.
Who say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
So in just a few minutes, you'll see the legendary respectful cannon, water cannon salute from the Kansas City International Airport Fire Department.
We're headed to New York, going to JFK Airport. The American Airlines people are treating us like royalty. We're starting to get to know people. We land in JFK, and that's where we pick up some others that are going on the trip. Some of the celebrities, some of the Miss Americas, Tony Orlando and his band and crew join us there. And we land in Ramstein at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we get in, go through customs, we check our bags in, and they put us up for the evening, and then the reality starts crashing in. We were told everyone up at 4 a.m. and load the buses to head to the airport, get back on the jet. We had to be wheels up, as they say, at 6 a.m. We're off to Bahrain. That part of the world, the Middle East over there, flying into Bahrain, and it's like all of a sudden we're on another planet.
But they pray 5 times a day for 30 minutes, and I think the first one is at 5. They come out of work to do it. They, take a break in the middle of the day, at night, before dinner, before they go to bed. And they cannot wear shoes inside because the feet are considered filthy on the bottom. And the men are always down on the floor, and the women are always behind the men.
We're on base in Bahrain.
represents every branch of the service. Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, Marine Corps, every one of them. So I just want you to take something with you. And it's Iraqi freedom, the main mission of this base and everybody in the station. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Once again, we're here to entertain you, and we want you to know we're very proud of you and support you. So let's have some entertainment. Mr. Gene Bicknell from Branson, Missouri.
Are you ready to have a good time? All right, we're here to give you a good time. What we're doing is a great staff, and I really appreciate it. I think this is appropriate, though. We got the American Eagle here. It's claws out, and that's what we do out here in 5th Fleet, NAVCENT. It's to you all. Thank you very much. Let's have a great night.
There's just a ton of emotions that go through your mind preparing for this trip. And as we found out, no matter how much you prepare or what you think you might know or what to expect, you really don't have any clue until you get there. We landed at Kuwaiti International Airport, and they took us over to the military side of it, where it's primarily a military installation. Kind of sequestered us over into a building, and then everyone got outfitted with their body armor and helmets, our new wardrobe for the trip. We were instructed that it was to be with us at all times. Once we get on the C-17, it's about 9 p.m. And we finally get to Baghdad. It's roughly midnight at this time. When we landed in Baghdad, as we walked across the tarmac was Captain Valentine and all the people that she had working with her, and they were absolutely incredible. As little sleep as we got, I know she got even less. And she informs us that they're still incoming. If you hear incoming, if you hear someone shout incoming, the first thing you do is hit the floor. You cover your head, you stay there. You do not move. You get as low as you can until a soldier comes and gets you.
There are truly good people in this world that are still doing things for the sake of doing the right thing. And it felt really great to be a part of it. It really did. And it felt good to be able to tell those guys and girls that they do have a country full of people that are supporting them, that love them, and that think about them every day, and that are in their prayers. And what surprised me was the soldiers that told us they're praying for us. It was just amazing to see young men and women that are so mature and that are ready to put their lives on the line for us. And they were thanking us. And it was just overwhelming. It was overwhelming.
We were on site waiting for our turn to go up and sound check, and 4 soldiers walked by, and I noticed they had a unique patch on their shoulders I hadn't seen before. And they explained to us that they were part of a group that gets called up ever so often, and they put them out on the point of the spear and put them out to take care of some of the worst situations that come along. And these guys weren't going to be able to hang around for the show. They were going to be flying out in about an hour and a half from when we were talking. They were headed to Afghanistan. We got to meet them. They were coming over, some for the 2nd and 3rd. One guy for the 7th time, he was called up to go back out on point from his division to be a part of this particular unit. And as it turned out, we got to know him, and 9 months prior, he had been blown up there in Baghdad, pointed to the spot there in town where he was blown up, was sent back to the States. He recovered, recuperated, and elected to come back. He chose to come back to be with his unit, to go back out on point. And he could have easily stayed home, taken another job, gone a different direction to another base, but he wanted to go and be back with his unit and go back out on point. And that's courage. That's a character and integrity that you can't measure, but that's what these people have. And I think that's probably one of the best memories that I have.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and just an honor to be asked to do that. And you know, the mom side of me, you know, you get nervous. You know, I had a 3.5-year-old, and you know, leaving him. But then I mean, you have that thought, and the first thing you think of is all of those moms and dads over there that are, I mean, there for a year. And they've left their children, their families, and I can't even imagine that. And I feel honored to do it. We went on the USS Eisnhower, and first greeted with the best reception ever. They were just so warm and kind. We flew in on a C-2, which is called a COD, and you fly in on the aircraft carrier, and you're coming in at a pretty good speed. Like, I think it's like 105. And I mean, it really pulls you, but it's the most amazing experience.
As it became closer to showtime, the soldiers were gathering, and the sun was starting to go down. It was a little cooler, which was nice. But then comes the thing that you don't want to hear.
Before we get started, though, we'd like to have a moment of silence for the soldier that was killed this morning, as well as 3 soldiers that were injured from the 91st MP Battalion, from Fort Drum, New York, and there are soldiers in the crowd that were their friends.
We were honored, just honored to be a part of it. And the show, we wanted to deliver the show to them. We wanted to do the best we could. We wanted to be entertaining. We wanted to maybe let them forget where they were, just for a couple of hours, you know, have some fun, and forget that they were in Baghdad. Maybe imagine they were in their own hometown at a concert.
I would have to say that my favorite memory is when we were doing a show in Iraq. We were backstage getting ready for the show, and I had asked one of the soldiers if she could take pictures for me. And when I told her, you know, thank you for serving our country and thank you for being able to do this for us, just seeing the tears in their eyes, it choked me up. And also, when you would give them these commemorative coins for their service, it just meant so much to them, and it was just awesome. It's hard to explain.
But I think one of my favorite moments was when we were, after we had performed, and we came out at the very end, and we were throwing stuff. We had some T-shirts and stuff like that we were throwing to the soldiers, and just their faces of appreciation and, you know, excitement. Not necessarily getting the things that we were throwing, because they were just T-shirts and stuff, but I think really it was a feeling that they were receiving something from us, or it was really an appreciation between the both of us, and I thought that was amazing. And I think what I've taken away from this is way more respect than I could have ever imagined for these men and women in the service.
But the show for us came afterward. The whole reason we went came after the show, when it appeared like everyone that was at the show lined up to come through the autograph line. We had an autograph line that I'm not exactly sure how long it was in distance, but it took 2 hours and 45 minutes from the end of the show to get through every soldier that came through the autograph line. And of course, it was time to pack, and the next morning we're headed to the lobby of the hotel, and had a few minutes waiting for the bus to come to take us to the airport. Walk out onto the patio with Kenya, and you hear gunfire. And I don't mean like gunfire, I'm talking just right over there. It's like you could reach out and touch it. And Colonel Brasco comes up behind us, and he says, "That's the reality. Welcome to the real world here. This is our reality." We all get aboard the C-17. We head back to Kuwait. We land in Kuwait, and we meet up with the ones that had been from out in the Persian Gulf. and performing on the ships and meeting the soldiers, the sailors out there. They come back to Bahrain and back to Kuwait, and we all gather up together, and they unload our cargo planes and they put us back on the American Airlines jet. Once we get to Ramstein, we are able to get offloaded, get our luggage, and get settled into our hotels. The next morning, we wake up, and some of us were able to explore the base a little bit before we went to sound check and meet some of the soldiers that were on site there. We were honored to do a show there for these guys and gals at Ramstein. Made us feel welcome. They thanked us for coming over, and it was just an honor to be a part of it. As our trip is wrapping up and winding down, it was a great way to wind up in another base, just letting people know thanks for what you do. And again, it was a late night, a lot of adrenaline, a lot of post-show autographs and meeting and greeting soldiers and getting to know them, exchanging more phone numbers and email. It was a great time, and again, another short night, no sleep. We had, I think, 2 hours of sleep before we were up and back to the airport, through customs, back on the jet, and starting the flight home. And then it's time for, retrospect, time to look back over the last few days, and in some ways it was a blur, in some ways it seemed like we were there for a month and a half. We had experiences for a lifetime. It's just hard to put into words the way that time almost stood still for about a 5-day stretch. The things that we were able to see, the things we were able to hear, the people we were honored and privileged to meet. True heroes that nobody's going to ever get to know. I think I can speak for everyone in our group. Given another opportunity, we would gladly go back. We would go back even better prepared now, because we do understand a little bit of it now, and would be honored and jump at any chance we could get to go back. It's just so hard to put into words unless you've been there. And we've been some of the very fortunate few to have that opportunity.